agree with Alan Greenspan? We ought to just eliminate the debt ceiling. Oh, absolutely. Here we go.
The ability of almost every working American to access more credit than they should have been able to masked the underlying fact that lower and middle class incomes were not rising.
That's not a tenable strategy. Isn't now the time to eliminate it? Oh, it would have been time a long time ago.
Let's put aside terrorism. Let's talk only about our own homegrown animals that are patrolling America right now. So it goes down to the simplest thing. Be prepared, be vigilant.
You remember when I told you that these postmodern, pre-communist groups, these sort of progressive, dialed-in focus groups that are hell-bent on diversity at all costs, at the cost of humankind itself, I told you they were going to get to a point where they'd start to eat each other alive. And we just reached that point. Well, we may have reached that point before, but here's another example of it, because it looks as though the California organizers of the Women's March have canceled it. And they didn't cancel it owing to the fact that they were pressured by the society or pressured by mean right-wing men. Government funding wasn't taken away. It was nothing like that. No. The organizers decided to cancel the Women's March for being too white. And you might say that's a headline. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right at all. This can't be. This can't be what it is. But the statement made by the group, the California group, is pretty poignant. And it's pretty scary when you really think about it, especially for women. Well, not really for women, but it's scary in a sense that this type of thinking is out there. And like I've told you, and I tell you these things, and I know they make you scared and make you uncomfortable, and I know they make you nervous at work, but the reality is, well, let me just read the statement. I don't need to reaffirm the fact that the way the society is being formed is to look at white people in a way that's, let's say, less than productive and could pose a serious threat in the near future. And I'm not 100% sure who the threat is posed to yet, but I think we'll know by the end of 2019 or 2020. Quote, up to this point, the participants have been overwhelmingly white, lacking representation from several perspectives in our community, said the statement. Instead of pushing forward with crucial voices absent, the organizing team will take time for more outreach. More outreach. This was supposed to be January 19th, but, you know, thanks to the overwhelmingly white presence, it had to be canceled. And you probably are sitting there wondering what in God's name is going on. And I told you what was going on. I told you what will be going on. I told you what is going on. It's pretty simple. You can't be diverse enough for people who live only for numbers and diversity. There is no end. But what makes me more terrified than anything else is, of course, this idea of white is not right. White is not enough. And there's something left to be desired. Now listen. The big lie, and this is the lie that I want you to understand over everything else. You need to understand this over everything else, is the fact that you can't talk about this stuff because it makes you a racist person. So in other words, you can't cock your head to the side and wonder why a march would be canceled because there's too many white people in it. Or else you're a racist. You should just understand the nuance here. You should understand the nuance, you fool. You racist pig. You should understand the nuance. You should understand that the perspective that you bring as a white person, well, it's just not enough. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't help to have so many from the quote-unquote ruling class around. And I can tell you that's about as dangerous as it gets. But that's not what I wanted to come on this show on New Year's Eve to talk about. And I don't even know how many of you are going to listen to this show on New Year's Eve, but it was my last chance to do an I Am Liberty show in 2018, a year that's been absolutely phenomenal for your host. Oh, yes, prepper. What am I? Writer, prep, freelance writer. You know, the type of guy who podcaster, the type of guy, I guess, who probably, you would think of as someone who's just struggling and scraping to make a living, not to mention the type of things I talk about on this show, it's been a phenomenal year for me. It's been an amazing year for me. Opportunities at every turn. Life has been good. Clients are incredible. What do you want me to say? You want me to pretend like it's something it isn't? It's what it is. But I wanted to tell you something that's coming. And it's not an easy decision for me to make. You know, it's really a tough one at the end of the day. It's a tough decision. But it's one that I think makes sense on many levels, and I wanted to bring it to you because you, who have been the faithful listening audience of the I Am Liberty show, deserve to be the first to know. Deserve to be the first to know what's happening, why it's happening, who it's happening, how it's happening. This show that is published through Libsyn, it's got to go away. So the standalone I Am Liberty show that is not affiliated with the Prepper Broadcasting Network costs money. Not a lot, but it costs money. And we're moving, Prepper Broadcasting Network is moving to Spreaker so we can get better sound quality, so we can take advantage of the equipment that we all have and that we all use to put together great shows. And the thing about Blog Talk that's overwhelming is the quality of sound is pretty bad. I mean, it's horrible, really, at the end of the day when you when you really get honest about it. And it was one of the sticking points for me when I took over the station. I said, I got to get this sound quality up. It was one of the reasons why I decided maybe we need to jump into video so I can get away from this sound quality because it's just horrendous. Well, Spreaker does live podcasts. They do live podcasting. They offer much of the same things that Blog Talk Radio does. They have better stats. And it just makes sense for me. So as life jumbles and as the world turns and as businesses build and crumble and all that sort of thing, I mean, one of the things that I have to be honest with you about is that I hold, and I wish more people would do this, I wish more people had the ability to do this. But it's tough in a world where you're constantly fed the idea that if you make just a little more, life will be great. If you're so close, if you just work a little more overtime, if you just work a little more, then life's going to get so much better. It's tough. It's a tough sell. It's tough to sell people, look, your time is what's valuable. And what I'm always here for you. I'm always wondering about content, what to bring to you. I got allies on my side now that are unbelievable. I don't know if you listened to The Next Generation last night, but what's going on Sunday nights, well, Sundays in general, at Prepper Broadcasting Network. I have a great show where we're literally calling on the average person to bring their thoughts about God to the forefront, their doubts, their thoughts, the questions that they have about their own faith in 2019. Listen, it's a show called Reliance, and it's up every Sunday morning, and sometimes it's pastors, sometimes it's people who are very, very deep into religion. Sometimes it's just the average man, but every week it's someone different, and every week it's a blast. It's called Reliance. It's up there on Sundays. Sunday morning, I put it up at 6 a.m., sometimes earlier. You can listen to it anytime after that up at the Prepper Broadcasting Network, prepperbroadcasting.com. Then we have The Next Generation with Ryan and his son Colin. And they're doing incredible work, taking the ideas of prepping and readiness and preparedness to a younger audience, to a new audience, trying to figure out ways to sort of get children, teens to digest this information and start a life unlike mine, where you don't have to wait till you're 27 years old to figure out you need to start prepping. So in all of this, I have to be honest and judicious about myself and my time, because it's a huge motivating factor for me. For me, my time is the most valuable thing there is. And it's not that doing these shows takes a lot of time, but it takes money, it takes thought, it takes time, and I have a 2-hour block over at Prepper Broadcasting every Wednesday, and I never miss. It's so rare that I miss. So to me, it only makes sense. The I Am Liberty show here has to die. It has to die here to be reborn into Wednesday so that I can do one show a week. I can give you 2 hours that are just as big a 2 hours as any person can give. And it's not hard. It's not going to be hard at all. But it's something that has to happen. So if you like the I Am Liberty show, if you enjoy the time we spent together over these years, look, the archives are going to be available. They're at YouTube. You can watch them anytime you want. Old shows like this. And I'm not saying I won't come back to a solo podcast at some point, but what I will tell you is in 2019, my one and only podcast will be the live show every Wednesday at prepperbroadcasting.com. That's it. That's going to be where you get the I Am Liberty show. I'm still going to have the I Am Liberty show website. Still going to have the site. Because the site, I can take my shows, and I will take my shows from Prepper Broadcasting and post them up on the website. Plus, it's a place where I get to write what I want, say what I want, do what I want, the way that I want, without stepping on the toes of anyone else, any hosts, anything like that. You know, I Am Liberty has always been my personal hub for fun, thought, writing, poetry, the whole thing. What I am. So I want you guys to understand that. I want you to appreciate that. That's where you'll find me. That's where you'll find me. You know what I mean? Me, James Walton. But if you want to find the I Am Liberty show and what it's become, that's prepperbroadcasting.com. Wednesdays, live, 9 Eastern Standard Time. 9 to 11 is the show. And after that, man, you can watch it anytime you want. The sound quality is going to be better. Probably in the next week or two, we're going to be on Spreaker. And that's life. That's where we're going. That's where we're headed. That's where the I Am Liberty show is headed. Now, this short stint in terms of my life really has been an amazing run over at Libsyn. It's been an amazing run with the I Am Liberty show here, and I'm so glad that you guys all followed me. That you guys, you got to remember, this thing didn't start here. This thing started at prepperpodcast.com. It moved to prepperbroadcasting.com. Then I got a real website over at IamLibertyShow.com. Well, things change. And I want you also to think about life the way I do. It's important, guys. It's important because time is running out. Money's not. Money's getting printed every day. Money's around. I don't know how much it changes you because I've never had a ton of money. So I can't honestly say that having all kinds of money is going to make you all kinds of better and all kinds of happier. But what I can tell you is that personal satisfaction is something that money does play a role in it, but it's not that big a role. Personal satisfaction, how you act, how you treat the people you love, who you love. These things in life, they're magic. They're magic. They're what define you. They're what define you at the end of a long life. Honestly. I mean, I don't know of anybody, not even Ebenezer Scrooge, clutched to his bank book at the end of his life, right? It's a wild thing to consider when you live in a society that tells you need more Twitter followers, you need more Facebook, you need more this, you need more that, you need to monetize, you need to monetize, you need to monetize, you need to monetize. You need to monetize your videos, your voice, your words, your letters, your phrases. You need to monetize your soul. You need to monetize. You need to monetize. You need products. You need to sell products. You need to bulk sell products. You need to wholesale products. You need to sell products. You need Amazon affiliate links. You need affiliate links and emails. You need email lists. You need... You follow me? No, the only thing you need is more time. That's it. That's it. You need to get the bills paid. You need to put some money away, and you need some more time. We all need more time. And I want you to understand that's the motivation behind this. The motivation behind this is how can I put the best of the best out? How can I put the best product out through prepperbroadcasting.com/IamLiberty? How can I give you the best? I don't want you guys waiting around, those of you who only subscribe to this podcast. I don't want you guys waiting around. James ain't put a show up in 3 weeks. Hey, that's going to happen. That's going to happen because prepperbroadcasting.com is an entity of mine now, and it's something I'm going to sink myself into. And I'm going to do a show there every week. So sometimes I'm not going to get up here and do this. And I sat down and thought about that, and I said to myself, you know what, it's time to cut it. It's time to end it. It's time to end this version of the I Am Liberty show in lieu of a better version over at prepperbroadcasting.com. And that's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be live every Wednesday, 9 p.m. You know the deal. Most of you are already with me over there. But what can I tell you? What the world needs now is prepping. It's an article title I wrote up at AmericanPreppersNetwork.com. But I received an email from the GatesstoneInstitute.org. And it's an interesting one. The West's big ticket power grabs. Why should people respect the social contract when politicians do not? Most alarmingly, as MEP Marcel de Graaf neatly surmised from the UN Global Compact for Safe, Orderly, and Regular Migration, he said, quote, criticism of migration will become a criminal offense. At what point we left all pretext of democracy and moved into the sphere of dictatorship manifest at a supranational level. It's very simple, quote, the globalist political elite doesn't respect nation states, nor does it give a damn about the views of ordinary people. Indeed, it despises them so much that it would much rather make their views illegal than listen to what they have to say. Says James Dellingpole over at Breitbart. That's December 9th, 2018. But this article goes into this idea about criticizing migration and about it becoming hate speech in Europe. And this is what the UN is working on. Of all things for the... What is the UN? The UN might be one of the most hapless organizations. In the United Kingdom, the people were asked to decide between leaving or remaining in the European Union. 17.4 million people voted to leave. That's 52%. 52% of the total votes cast in the clear majority. The general will of the people was to leave. It appears increasingly likely, however, that this vote is being frustrated either by legal obfuscation, a potential second referendum, or other political maneuvering. Listen, I'm going to end the show on this. I don't want this to be a long show because, to be honest, I got work to do. I got to hit the gym today. And then I want to party tonight with my family. Ring in the new year. Because here I am. I'm going to be turning 33 this year. And it's been an amazing ride. It's been an amazing ride. And for people like me who know it's an amazing ride, it's so hard to watch as the leadership of the West commits suicide. As they try to bring in people from other nations who aren't bringing us any benefits whatsoever. I had someone in the chat room over at the live show Wednesday before, tell me that 63% of illegal aliens are on welfare. And I said, ho, ho, ho. Let's just slow down here. You can't throw stuff like that up in the chat room that's not factual. And then another person whom I know very well, both of these guys I know very well, throws an article at me from the Washington Examiner that says just that, 63% of illegal aliens. What? 63%? And we just let 1,000 more in. Meanwhile, Europe is on the same deal here. And the leadership seems to think that this is the best way to do it. Because they believe that, here, this is what they believe. They believe that the world is only going to reach its pinnacle if we take as many crayon colors and shake them up in a jar and spill them out all over the world. Because that's how small their brains are. That's how small and short-sighted they are. Is they think as long as we have the max amount of colors in this nation, the maximum amount of colors and the right percentage of each, then we're at stasis, baby. We're on our way to glory. It's a much more nuanced situation than that. And what I'm really getting tired of, what is really burning me up lately, is this idea that no one gets to vote for who comes into this nation. That this social experiment that is illegal immigration, and make no mistake about it, it's a political, social experiment. That's what it is. And you are the one being experimented on. This is nothing new. I've talked about this before. You don't get to vote about people seeking asylum and being pulled into this nation from Syria. You don't get to vote on the fact that there's thousands of people coming from the southern border. You got a chance to vote on a border wall, and you voted in Donald Trump. Some of you. Where's the wall? We have to be able to vote on the fact that we're letting criminals and degenerates and human traffickers and drug dealers and people who don't even have the ability to make a living in this nation into this nation. And you and me and every other common man that you know is responsible for taking care of those people, on top of taking care of your own family. So you tell me what's going on. It's a watercolor. The progressive postmodernists are merely creating a watercolor across the globe. Well, not necessarily across the globe either. It's just in white nations. Right? No one is taking multitudes of white people and throwing them into a Rwanda, into India, into China, saying we need to make these areas more diverse is what we need to do. No, it's just the European nations. It's just America. It's just the West. They're not allowing us anything to say about anything. Well, now you know, any talk about migration is criminal. It's hate speech. Good luck. Good luck to you. Listen to me, folks. Get prepared. That's all I can tell you. It doesn't have to be for the cataclysm created by the UN. It doesn't have to be for anything so severe. But I can tell you right now, there's only so much a human man can take. There's only so much people can take, and they're going to start cracking up more often. We see the rare crack up shooting nowadays, but it's going to be more, and it's going to be more often if the UN doesn't stop trying to run the world. If they don't decide that there's other people out there that need to be represented. It's an ugly thing, folks. But I don't want to end on a sour note. We're moving into 2019. It's going to be a banner year. It's going to be a year where we redefine the word prepper over at prepperbroadcasting.com. There's a lot of great prepping organizations and websites and networks out there. Join them. Join them all. Ship them all. We're going to open a whole new door. That was the Joker from the 1989 Batman. Join them all. Prepping is not something to be afraid of anymore. I'm telling you. It's not something to be afraid of anymore. It's just good business. It's just good personal sovereignty. You understand? Get prepared in 2019 and join me every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, over at prepperbroadcasting.com for the live show, the 2-hour I Am Liberty show. Thanks for everything, guys. Signing off. Follow us at iTunes, the whole 9 yards. You can get that show just like you get this show. Thank you. Happy New Year.